Hello and welcome to all the parents of our AP Calculus students to our virtual Meet the Teacher Night. I'm Carolyn Fisher and I have the pleasure of having your son or daughter in class this year. And I want to start off with a thank you to all of you because I appreciate you taking the time to listen to this, and more than anything I appreciate the opportunity to work with your son or daughter. I truly have the best job. I get to work with amazing students every year, and I love every minute of it. So I'm super excited to get the year started and be back to seeing students. Take a minute and read the quote on the screen if you're interested, and then join me on the next page. So this year we're going to be studying calculus, and calculus has been considered one of humankind's most inspiring collective achievements. So pretty powerful stuff. You may or may not have studied it yourself, but there's some really, really cool stuff that we're getting into. But let's get into the class, because I know that's what you want to hear about, is what do I need to know about this class? So the course AB, there are two calculus courses if you're not aware of that. AB is the equivalent of one semester of college calculus plus a little. So we actually start a Calc 2 class from college. We start into that content. We do kind of the big ideas, but we don't get into the nitty-gritty, all the details of it. So students at the end of the course are able to take the AP test and have the opportunity to test out of a Calc 1 course in college. If they get a 3 or higher, that is generally accepted as college credit. So it's an awesome scenario because the students actually have had a little bit of Calc 2. So then they can start college in a Calc 2 course, and they have seen maybe the first 3 weeks or review, and then they get into new stuff. So I think it's really a perfect setup for the students transitioning from high school into college. Now we also have a BC calculus, and that covers 2 full semesters of college calculus. Just so you know, if you weren't aware of that, that is an opportunity for students, but that would require a schedule change. So let me know if that's something that you think you were supposed to have signed up for. The AP exam. So you may or may not be familiar with the AP program. The AP test is designed to test a student's conceptual understanding of calculus. It's going to expect that the students can think and talk and justify their reasoning, not solely calculate answers. So the most straightforward part is the multiple choice part, and that was actually taken off the exam last year. It is a hard test. It requires upper level thinking skills, but they can do it. So the expectation is, the way I design the course, is that students, if they do everything that I expect them to do, that by the end of the course they will be prepared to take the exam and they will do well. So just so you know, that is our school expectation, and that is my personal expectation, is that they should be just fine. They should know well in advance if they're not set up for success on that test. So you can take a minute if you're interested in the details about the exam. I've got that on the screen. If I can move myself out of the way. So let's just move this down. So you can take a minute and pause the video if you want to read through it. This is, of course, given that we're in like normal testing conditions this year. So let's hope that things settle down by the spring. Last year's stats, I'd just like to let you know, there's always the question of like, how do students usually do on the test? Students do tell me that it's one of the hardest, if not the hardest, AP test that they take. But as of last year, and last year was a weird year, my results were exactly, almost precisely the same as the year before, slightly better. So the students rose to the challenge, and I couldn't be more proud of them. Over 80% of them passed. That's a 3 or higher. I'm especially impressed by the second statistic. 64%, that's almost 2/3 of the kids, got a 4 or 5. That's guaranteed college credit right there. So this year's students are, of course, going to surpass that. I've already looked at my rosters, and I can tell I have a great group of students, and the year hasn't started yet. So I'm super excited about what they're going to accomplish. If you're a planner, here it is. I'll just move this. Tuesday, May 4th. That's when the test is scheduled for. So put it on the calendar. Not going to want to miss that. There's tons of information if you haven't been on the AP website. The students will be signing up. We're going to be using AP Classroom, with something that was brought about last year, and it has a lot of great resources. So we will be using that, and that's actually how they'll sign up for the test. So more information coming to the students, but you're welcome to browse around on there as well and check out what they have. So just a quick 5 things that maybe you might be familiar with, maybe not, but specifically for this class, and how we can work together to help get your son or daughter ready for that test and learn a lot of calculus along the way, of course. It's sort of a personal philosophy of mine. Students will make mistakes. It's part of learning. We talk about learning a lot in class, and I think that's really important that the conversation continues at home. I was an honors student, and I went through my entire schooling thinking that I was supposed to be perfect and not make mistakes. And I wish somebody had had this conversation with me when I was a student. I think I missed out on a lot of learning because I was so focused on trying not to make a mistake. So I can promise you that I will be continually challenging the students, and they will make mistakes, but they're going to learn a lot in the process. I've got some more information if you're curious on growth mindset, and if you're interested, there is a really good book called Make It Stick. I actually recommend that to students, and I would encourage you to ask your son or daughter about the backward bicycle. Collaboration is a key, huge part of this class, to the point that we have done and probably will continue to do this year, team test, where they collaborate for grade, because it's that important that they put their brains together and are constantly trying to push each other to the next level. So that's obviously going to look a little different this year, and unfortunately I don't have all the answers. But I am not willing to compromise on this, so whether they are at home or they are in class with us or doing half and half, we're going to figure out a way to continue to do what we know is best for learning. I'm trying to look at the positive. But even though it's going to be a challenge, opportunity for us to focus on the communication piece, and has a couple parts. Communicating, obviously, with the teacher when they're stuck and need help, but also communicating within the academic discipline. And it's not always easy to communicate in math, but I think it could be a really good opportunity for us all to improve. So that's going to be one of our focuses this year, and I'm excited about the opportunity to really be challenged in that respect. Individual responsibility is also an expectation. So again, with people being in different parts of different learning environments, it's really super important that students, and most of the students in this class are seniors, but they're still learning, they're still growing. So I can't emphasize the importance of this continual conversation of myself with the students, but also with you at home, continuing to reiterate the same message. Of getting them to take responsibility of, more than ever before, this year they're going to have to take responsibility for their learning. And I will do everything I can to provide them resources and help them as much as possible. But I've found this in the past too. At this level, if the students buy in and they do what I expect and they really commit from the beginning, they do great. The results are there. So it's not a matter really of how smart they are. There's learning for everybody. It's pretty much brand new content. Students have described pre-calculus as kind of like algebra 3, and calculus is brand new. So it's a great fresh start. It's really about their effort and commitment that they make this year. So my expectations for Zoom classes will be the same as my expectations for in-person. I'll obviously be going over that with the students. And we do have multiple resources, not just the textbooks. So you're probably familiar at this point with My Math Lab. The students will have access to their online textbook via My Math Lab, which requires a login. But they will also have other resources that we're going to use. So Schoology is going to be the main place where they're going to find everything. You're welcome to take a look, help them navigate if they're having troubles finding anything. I already have some stuff in here for general setup, course information, and then I'll be putting, this is all algebra review stuff, I'll be putting in new stuff as we go and dating everything so they can follow along real easily. We're also going to make an effort as a school to really utilize this calendar feature in Schoology. So if your son or daughter struggles to stay organized, that might be really helpful for them to pay attention to. And whoops. Last but not least, I'm here to help, seriously. I want to help the students, and I will make myself available in every way I possibly can. So right now, these are the times that I know I can commit to. More coming as I figure out what the rules are and when and where we can meet. So if, obviously you can go back and watch this, but I will also communicate this with students. If you need to contact me at any point in time, email is the best way to reach me just because I'm not often by a phone. My email address does have my first initial after my last name. Most teachers are their last name at mentorschools.org, so just put a C in there, otherwise it goes into like the black hole of cyberspace and I never see it. Other ways to contact me, you can call the main office and leave a message and they will get that to me. Remind is a student favorite. I will set up a Remind class, which is an anonymous texting service. You're welcome to join as a parent, but I do caution you, I will send out probably at least one text a day. So there's also an email option and you might prefer that, or you can certainly just email me. Okay, so students are welcome to use the Remind, or email is fine as well. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen, and most of all for being a support for your son or daughter. This is going to be an interesting year and have its challenges, but I know we can get through it together. I'm super excited to get going and have the opportunity to work with them. So thank you again for everything you're doing at home to support what we're trying to do in school. Best of luck. I look forward to a great year.